My name is Alec. I'm a professional programmer, and using automation, I've built an Etsy shop selling AI art that brings in anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And this is just my first year of doing business. While other shops spend hours posting hundreds or even thousands of products, I built a way to post these in minutes, automatically with almost no work. In this video, we'll walk through the tool I used to do it. And by the end, you'll know the exact steps I took to create this digital conveyor belt. So what even is this tool I'm describing? Well, it's a new Etsy software app that solves a problem I dealt with when I started my Etsy business at the end of 2024, which was that all the uploading systems out there just weren't smart enough. Yes, we can upload our listings to Etsy through the site, but it can take 5 minutes just to paste everything in, and a lot of the time we have to redo our images since they never upload to Etsy in the order we want. We can shortcut some steps by doing a copy listing on Etsy, but then we need to delete all the images one by one, then delete the files, re-upload everything, switch out the title, and switch out the tags, which means we have to click these little bubbles one by one. It's honestly horrible. There are a few other tools I looked at when I started out, but they were all way too complicated, and they still didn't even do the simple steps I needed. A lot of them tried to be everything to everyone. So they were set up to try and help every single type of product on Etsy. But when you try to be everything to everyone, you usually end up being nothing to no one. This new tool I used for my shop is completely different. It was built specifically for digital art sellers, so either entrepreneurs who are already selling art prints on Etsy, or those of us who want to start our first business online selling digital wall art, but don't know where to start. If you're watching this right now and you are proudly sitting in one of those two categories, then this application was designed just for you. And it's called Downpour. Downpour is a new system that solves a huge problem for art sellers and clears out the traffic jam we run into when it's time to upload our listings to Etsy. For those of us who have experience selling digital art, we know that the creative process of designing the art is one of the best parts of the business. But then prepping the mock-ups and cropping the files, plus uploading all of that to Etsy, is one of the worst. In this video, I'll share exactly how to make that uploading problem completely go away. And if you are brand new to this business, but not sure what printable wall art even is, well, take a look at this shop. Lexington Prints has sold over 41,000 items on Etsy in about a year and a half. But these items weren't sent through the mail. No. Lexington's customers simply purchased PNG images that they printed out themselves and framed. At about $2.80 per print, this puts Lexington at an estimated $115,000 in sales, with almost 100% profit margin before Etsy fees, selling image files that can be downloaded infinitely many times. All Lexington needs to do is post the listing, let it sell, and Etsy will auto-deliver the files to each buyer without Lexington having to do a single thing. And let's not even talk about North Prints with their 434,000 sales and an estimated $1,200,000 in revenue. If you want to get started, check out the link in the description to visit my community, where I walk through everything at each step of this business, starting from a brand new shop. It's a little expensive, but you can try it for free, and if it's not for you, then no worries. But this is a video about Downpour, so let's get into it. Downpour is a tool that allows us to just drag and drop our folders full of listing files, like this, let it process into listings, like this, then upload everything to Etsy in the background. And we can just hang out and watch our listings get created in our shop right in front of us. At a very high level, the way Downpour works is it allows us to upload any number of listings all at the same time, as long as they fit in the same template or shape. Let's walk through an example to make this more clear. In Downpour, I can have a template called Vertical Spring Prints. So I set up my images, my files, my listing details, and description to all be specific to vertical spring prints. Then when I upload these 10 listings, they all get sent to Etsy as different listings, but they all have the same shape. Now, I could use a whole different template too, like frame TV art. So I could have these two TV art designs and set up a template to accept all my frame TV mockups and files. And if I run the designs through Downpour, it will create these two Etsy listings for frame TV art that are the same frame TV shape as each other, but ultimately totally different listings. If that still seems a little confusing, let's walk through Downpour from start to finish to see it in action. And at the end of this video, I'll show you where you can go to try Downpour for absolutely free. First, we need to get our hands on Downpour. So open up your internet browser and type in downpourapp.com. Then click register now to create an account. Fill out the forms, then click register to create your account and get into the app. Since we're in the open beta right now, this software is free for everyone inside of the AI Art Sellers Collective. So just comment on the pinned community post or send me a DM directly, and I'll give you an exclusive beta code to start using Downpour for free. Huge thank you to everyone who's participating in the beta. I appreciate all of you so much. After creating an account, you will land directly on the Add Shop screen. This is where Downpour will link your Etsy shop so it's able to upload listings. As a side note, Downpour will never charge any fees on Etsy. Every listing it uploads will be a draft listing, so it will never do any uploading that could charge you listing fees. So with all that said, let's click the button to add our Etsy shop, and we'll just need to log into our account and grant access to Downpour. After that, we've arrived at the Downpour home screen. Immediately, you will see a pop-up that asks you to refresh your shop. This is optional, but if you want to load your listings into the home screen, go ahead and click refresh to kick it off. If you have less than 1,000 listings, this should be a quick process. However, if you have over 1,000 listings, this could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for your first run. Just keep that in mind. Doing this allows you to view all of your listings in this nice grid on the home screen. You can sort by title, quantity, price, and my personal favorite, favorites. Again, this is just for viewing right now, but stay tuned for some bulk editing features to unleash the full power of this grid. But for now, let's do what Downpour was made to do, bulk upload. So let's click bulk upload at the top left and get ourselves onto the screen where we can begin automating our business. Since this is the first time we're using the app, we are presented with this dialog asking us to create a template. Remember, templates are the specific shape of a listing. So it could be vertical spring prints like this, or Christmas frame TV art like this, or any other combination under the sun. For this walkthrough, let's say we have these 10 vertical spring art designs in a 4:5 aspect ratio. So I'll call my template 4:5 vertical spring prints and hit create. Now the screen lights up with a ton of new fields for us to check out. First, and probably most important, is this drop down at the top for the mapping pattern. This is very important for Downpour to process your folders correctly. In the description of this video, I'll link my biggest video ever where I walk through the entire Etsy automation roadmap and use a key tool that sets up our files for Downpour, which is a Photoshop automation script called Tempest. Tempest turns these 10 art files into 10 folders, each jam-packed with 5 picture frame ready files that the script crops into common frame sizes, which our customers will download and print out. It also creates 10 mockups that we will use for our listing images on Etsy. Depending on the orientation or size of the art, the script will give us one of 3 prefixes: V for vertical prints, H for horizontal prints, or F for frame TV art. So make sure you select the mapping pattern here that matches the orientation of the art you're using. If that seems a little confusing, check out that video in the description. So for our 10 vertical print portraits, I'll choose the mapping pattern of V and we are ready to go. Next, we need to create the template or shape of our listing. This means we need to tell Downpour the names of all the images and files we want to use for our listing. So if we have these 10 mockups that we want to use as the listing images for this vertical spring prints template, we just need to enter in these file names into the template in the order we want them to display on Etsy. Check out the mockups for a few of the 10 designs we plan to upload. You can see that they're all different, but they all have the same file name. So that is what Downpour looks at when it's grouping our designs together and uploading. So let's go ahead and enter the 10 image names in the right order we want for Etsy. Make sure you enter the whole file name, including the file type at the end, like .png or .jpeg. The final note on these image names is that you can rearrange these files if you want to change up the order before you upload. Just drag and drop the tiles to rearrange them. The last piece of listing images is the static images section. Remember when I said our mockups are different for each art design, but they have the same name? Well, static images are different. They are an image that is exactly the same for every single listing. Let me pull up an example print from Antique White Art to show how this works. Every one of these images is unique to this bunny print, but right here at image number 4, we can see that this is just a general sale image. And if we check out another listing by Antique White, we can see this exact same sale image. So this is what I mean by a static image. So if we want to include a sale image like this, we could add a static image and give it a rank of 4. Then upload the sale image and it would go into every single listing as the 4th image. Keep in mind that this overwrites the image that is currently at spot number 4. So if we scroll up, this image won't actually get uploaded. The sale image will go in its spot instead. You can see how it gets grayed out since the static image is set up to be on its same rank. Now we can move through the next few steps, but they are extremely similar to the 2 we just covered. The listing video is just like the image names, but just for 1 slot for the video. Then we can do the same with the 5 digital files. So let's enter in the 5 file names we want here. For my vertical spring prints, we can see that I have these 5 cropped files that I plan to attach as the frame-ready designs that customers get after they purchase. And again, note that for each listing, these files are different, but the file names are the exact same. So let's enter in those 5 file names here. The last piece here is similar to images, but this time it's static digital files. This is great for how-to guides or other PDFs. For example, for Frame TV art, we won't upload 5 digital files. We'll actually just upload 1 4K JPEG, since all Frame TVs are the same size. That means we have extra spots to add another file. So I like to create a little how-to guide PDF that walks buyers through setting up their art on the Frame TV. This guide is always the same for each listing, so we can add it as a static file here in the template. But again, this is just for Frame TV. For our vertical spring prints, I want all 5 of my frame-ready files, so I'll leave this section blank. Now, we just have 2 more sections to go. The next one is probably the most straightforward, and that is the listing details. So we can simply enter our quantity, our price, select the who made and the when made, or just leave it as is. Select an optional shop section, search for our category, which for us will usually be digital prints, and finally check if we want the listings to auto-renew, which we usually do. And finally, the very last step is the listing description. This one is actually more powerful than it seems. Of course, we could keep it simple and copy and paste in a standard description for what we want for every listing. For my vertical spring prints, I could enter in something like this, filled with info on the details of the product and a ton of SEO keywords. But we can usually make this even smarter. If we want, we can put in wildcards into this description. So instead of experience this breathtaking wall art print, we could type in experience this breathtaking wall art print of subject, with subject wrapped in curly braces. Now, when Downpour goes to create our listing, it will discover this wildcard and try to fill it in with the matching subject. So for one of our vertical spring art designs like this, we might have it say, a calm wildflower field near a riverbank. And Downpour will fill in that subject automatically. If this seems confusing, let me clear this up by covering what is actually the very last step in setting up a Downpour template, the CSV file. CSV is just a fancy word for a Google Sheet or Excel document. This is where we enter in the 2 most important pieces of a listing that you might have thought I skipped up to this point, which are title and tags. This step is very simple. We just need to create a Google Sheet in our Drive, or create an Excel spreadsheet if you have Excel, and enter in 2 columns, title and tags. Now, if you're curious to know how to create titles and tags, check out that video I mentioned earlier, linked down below, to walk through the entire Etsy automation roadmap, starting from Midjourney and going all the way to Etsy, which includes the steps to use AI to generate infinitely many titles and tags in seconds. But for this example, let's keep it simple. I use the AI assistants to generate this list of 10 titles for my listing, as well as these 10 sets of 13 tags for each design. Then I pasted them into my sheet, as we can see here. The one thing we need to make sure of is that the title has an index at the end that matches the one in the folder name that we want it connected to. So if our calm spring wildflower field near a riverbank is image number 1, we need to make sure we give it a title that ends with an index of 1. If you follow the model in the Etsy automation roadmap, Orion, the AI assistant, will make sure this is correct. But I just wanted to call that out here. Now, the one other piece of this Google Sheet step is those description keywords. Remember that we entered in one called subject in curly braces? In order for Downpour to fill in that wildcard, we need to make sure the CSV has a new column that matches that name, so subject. And then we can fill it in with our placeholder value. This is a pretty powerful step of the process, as it allows us to use essentially the same description, but make it tailored to each product. Even if we put 100 listings or 1,000 listings in the CSV, we can use ChatGPT to come up with a subject for each of them, paste it in, and generate unique descriptions for each listing in one motion. If you're curious, we could just type something into ChatGPT like, please give me short descriptions for each of these art designs, make sure it fits in this sentence, and then paste in our placeholder. Then copy and paste our list of titles in and let ChatGPT come up with our descriptions instantly. Then copy and paste them back into the Google Sheet. And with our CSV completed, we can simply go up to File, then Download, then select CSV or comma-separated values, and finally go into Downpour, click the big blue button at the top right, and upload our CSV into our template, and then save our template at the very end. At this point, we are ready to bulk upload our 10 listings. So let's find all of our output files, like our mockups and our files, then go back a folder to our big list of folders, then go back even one more level so that we have just a 1 4x5 vertical folder with all those files deep inside of it. Then we can simply drag and drop this parent folder right into this drop area in Downpour and release. After Downpour takes a second to process all the files, we can watch it as it runs millions of calculations to link each listing with the right files, the right images, and cross-reference it with the CSV document we just uploaded to connect the right title, tags, and finally fill in the description keywords. And after it works its way through each of our 150 files, we can start scrolling down to see our fully formed listings uploading right in front of our eyes. We can check out the first one and make sure our title and tags look good, our images look good, and our files look good. Then we can scroll to the next one and check it out, then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then scroll all the way down to see all 10 listings uploading all in sync. And if we click this little description button here, we can see our pop-up of our filled in description for that specific listing. And we can see that it's perfectly filled in with the right subject for the design. The final step is to check the auto upload box here at the top so that once all of our images and files finish downloading, Downpour creates everything as draft listings on Etsy. To show this in action, here's what it looks like once the files are finished and they start uploading to Etsy. We get a whole new progress bar, but this one's quite a bit faster. And as it loads, we can flip over to Etsy and see our listings coming into the world. If I click on this first one, we can see that it has a few images and files, but Downpour is actively building it as we speak. So if I refresh the page, we see that more and more images are magically popping into existence, which is just wicked cool. This is the benefit of Downpour. In another world, I'd need to fly through these Etsy pages and upload all of my mockups, copy over my title, upload my 5 digital files, copy over the tags. In fact, when I first started my shop, I used to have 3 Etsy pages up at once, so I could have 3 uploads going on at the same time, and just kept switching my attention from page to page. Today, I've saved myself from that headache, and it's probably lowered my resting heart rate substantially. But in all seriousness, this software really does feel like the printing press of this digital art business, and I'm excited for you guys to get your hands on it. But there are a few more points I want to cover just to make this a complete breakdown of Downpour. One key point is that it's not always this happy, sunny path. Check out this example with the same designs and files, but in my CSV, I had a title that is too long, and a set of tags with only 1 tag, and then another set of tags with 14 tags instead of 13. Let's upload the CSV, then drag and drop the same parent folder with all 150 files into Downpour again. After processing, things look a little different, and we can see some scary errors and warnings here on the left. If we click into the errors, we get a new flyout with the listing or multiple listings that are causing the issue. If we click this little Go To button, Downpour will automatically send us right to the offending listing. Then we can click the pencil icon to edit the title in real time and fix it so it's within the 140 character limit. Then click Save. We can do the same thing with the too many tags error. So open the flyout, let Downpour find the listing for us, then fix the tags. And we can do the same with the tag warning as well, but keep in mind that warnings are actually just recommendations. Since it's better search engine optimization to use all 13 tags, Downpour lets you know if you don't use all 13, but it would still let you upload with the warning. If there are any errors, however, Downpour will not let you upload until all the errors are fixed. So keep that in mind. On that same note, a common error in Downpour happens right when you create a template and set things up. Then you go to do a drag and drop. If you try to drag and drop but quantity is 0 or price is at 0, you will get a red error pop-up saying that these fields need to be filled in. Also, if you try to do a drag and drop and you don't have a mapping pattern selected, you'll get that same error. So just scroll up, select a mapping pattern, hit save, and then you'll be good to go. And that does it for this video on Downpour and its current features. If you've made it this far, then you have my thanks and gratitude, and I'll let you know that access to this software is available in the AI Art Sellers Collective Skool community in the description. You can start for absolutely free, and there's more guides and walkthroughs for Downpour, plus an entire course on selling AI art on Etsy, plus the Photoshop automation script for mockups and cropping, called Tempest. You don't want to miss out on that script. It is the key to preparing all these files for Downpour to upload to Etsy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and in the comments, leave any features you'd like to see in Downpour in the future. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.